Good evening, I'm Josh Hilkman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Husker soccer is set for their regular season debut tonight as they host the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles coming up just after 7 o'clock tonight at Hibner Stadium. Nebraska finished the 2024 season with a 6-10-1 record and have revamped their roster with 15 newcomers, including 13 freshmen. Our own Camden Cohn is on site at Hibner Stadium and will provide updates throughout the show. Husker sophomore quarterback Dylan Raiola added a preseason honor to his offseason tally today as he was named to the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year watch list. Raiola is one of 81 players named to the watch list today. The winner will be announced on December 16th. And finally, a few MLB scores. Earlier today, the Blue Jays edged the Cubs 2-1. Vlad Guerrero Jr. made the difference with a two-run homer in the seventh. Also a final, the Orioles defeated the Mariners 5-3. Coming up in just a few minutes, it's the Braves and the Mets, and a 6:40 first pitch between the Tigers and the Twins. Tarek Skubal on the hill for Detroit. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Pianto set first offering. That ball's driven up the middle. Coming around third is Dylan Carey. The throw is offline. The Huskers win it. The Huskers win it. Nebraska will march on.
Wing to the near side. Snap back. Has some time. Steps, throws down the field. The pass is intercepted. Picked off by Sierra Wright to the 30, 25, 20. Sierra down the near sideline. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Sierra Wright with a pick six for Nebraska, and the Huskers have taken the lead on the road.
Rimdahl, a couple of ball fakes, bounces into Prince at half court. And Prince is going to make a run on a falter. Steps back for three to tie the game. You betcha! Biggest shot of that freshman's young career. Timeout! We're tied at 75. Britt Prince is 19. She steps back and sticks a three-pointer, her fifth of the night.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey, everybody. Welcome in. 2 weeks from tonight, Kyle. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, two. It's like when they do the 2-minute warning for NBA games. We're getting close. We were downstairs for get together with all the partners, and we were talking about it. 14 days, getting ready to go. So everybody's amped up, not just us, but our partners as well.
Yeah, great to see. A lot of those folks have been around, been apart for a long time, and partners here on making the radio go and signage in the stadium. So a lot of different people that help make this thing go. We appreciate them very much and all that they do to support us here at the Huskers Radio Network and Husker Athletics.
That's right. And the food down there, immaculate.
Very good. Very good. And brought Josh back a plate. Unfortunately, Camden is out at Hibner to be our live on location reporter, so he missed out tonight, or I would have brought him a plate back too.
Picked the wrong day to be reporter guy. Camden Cohn, but he's he's somebody that if you tell him that we want you out in the field and reporting, he's going to do it. That's the kind of guy he is. Producer, reporter, play-by-play guy. He's on it no matter what it is.
Got a big show coming up for you here tonight. We're going to hear from Damon Benning here in just a few minutes. Kyle had a chance to check in with him. Kelly Hunter, or now Kelly Natter, she got married, so I'm still going to, I told her it's going to be a work in progress for me to be in that habit as she got married. Name change, but first episode of The Dig dropped today, so we're going to bring you a little bit of a portion of that, and then Kyle has Joke of the Week coming up, but do have to take you behind the curtain a little bit. Apologies. Last night we had pre-recorded the interview with Lauren, so we were not live when the breaking news had happened about the other single digits. We had just talked about it on the show, and then Kyle and I went down to practice and saw these guys running out, and whoops, we just talked about that. But so Javen Wright wearing number 0, and so Nash wore 0 last year. Javen is in 0. Vincent Schaefer's goes to 9, so he's known by V9, so he goes back to 9. Janiron Bonner wears number 4, and I think maybe some people were surprised about that. I told you I feel bad that I didn't talk about him. I was not surprised, but I didn't think about him. We're having those conversations just because I know he's so well respected on the team. So Janiron Bonner, and then Ja'Cory Barney wearing number 2. So I don't know if any of those we were surprised by. You and I had, just before we walked out there, had talked about Javen Wright potentially getting one of those, and then Javen Wright was one of the first guys we saw.
Yeah, I think we nailed it on that one. And boy, has he earned it. I remember last year, Coach Rule talking about being in his office and going through the situation with Javen, having to deal with blood clots and everything that he's dealt with throughout his career, and that they were basically in tears when, they were talking about his situation and not knowing whether he was going to play football again. And here he is. He's had a really good fall camp. He's going to be a big part of what the Huskers do on this defense this year. And to see him get rewarded now, and this is 7th year, so almost 2 full college careers, to get that single digit, I don't think we were surprised, and we expected Ja'Cory Barney. I think it fits him a little bit more.
Yeah.
The speedy guy who's going to catch a lot of balls. And also, too, Bonner, I wasn't necessarily aware of the context of everything he's meant. I know the basic information of Bonner and what he's done, position switch from fullback to wide receiver, but a quiet leader, somebody who shows up, he's consistent, does his job, does it well, and for him to get rewarded now as a junior to be that number 4 jersey, he's going to play a big impact on this team, and it just shows in his teammates voting him as one of those single-digit guys.
I told you last night about the celebration that ensues when Javen Wright makes a big play. Janiron Bonner is another one of those guys that is, when he does something, people love it. And he's been a guy that's done a little bit of the dirty work when he's had to, hasn't always shown up in the stat sheet, made some pretty big plays last year. I think he's going to make even more this year, but he's just done everything that's been asked of him. He's a great teammate, even though he's maybe not the loudest guy or the biggest rah-rah guy. There's no question how much he's respected. So, and Ja'Cory, he probably was top of the boat getter for everybody on special teams.
Yeah, he is the hype man on special teams, all those kickers. And there were a lot of boosters out at practice last night. We're talking to Tyler Kai out at the event we were just at. He mentioned there was 200 boosters there last night watching practice. So they got to see firsthand just the energy that Ja'Cory Barney brings to these kickers. And if they miss a kick, he'll pick them up. And if he makes them, you'll hear it everywhere around the facility.
Yeah, he's and he does that. It's genuine. He doesn't just do it because people are there. That has been what he's done even going back to last year as a freshman. It was brought up. So I think he's probably the big vote getter there from all those guys. Speaking of special teams, we've talked a lot about Archie Wilson. He's the darling of not just Nebraska football, of all of college football right now, and went viral when he had his press conference moment. Today, I guess it was this morning, Australian time, his family was interviewed, and it was pretty neat to see and they're all decked out. His younger brothers, his parents, all decked out in Husker gear, doing an interview with the local Australian news, and they kind of dove into that, and it sounds like they're going to be here pretty soon, but it was just really cool to see their perspective of it, too. He called them and said, I'm okay, just don't watch the press conference. And so they were like, oh, what? And then they ended up watching it and realizing that, but they said they got emotional, too, watching it.
I wonder what Archie's perspective is on all of this, realizing what this turned out to be in the social media age. Once that clip hits X, Twitter, it's going to take a life of its own. It only takes one retweet or one quote tweet for it to just become its own life. And we've seen it on the Today Show. I think, I'm from New York, New Jersey. They were playing it locally on the CBS 2 affiliate. They were playing it as my mom texted me saying, I saw the story about the punter on CBS 2 in New York. It's everywhere, and all these national outlets have stories on it. But I think overwhelmingly it's been positive as to, hey, these are 18, 19-year-old young adults that are going through a lot. So maybe we shouldn't just sling mud on Twitter all the time when somebody has a bad game.
Yes.
I don't know. That's just me.
I agree. Preach. Okay, we don't always do this. We're testing this out, but we're testing it out with a good one. We've actually got a live on-location reporter for us here tonight. It is the season opener for Husker soccer. and kicking off the entire 2025-2026 athletic season for Nebraska Athletics out at Hibner tonight. And our very own Camden Cohn joining us live from the press box. Camden, I know you're not going to do the British accent as Kyle was requesting.
It's unfortunate, but I'll let him be.
I'm sorry you missed out on the food, but I'm glad that you were open to taking on this responsibility for us here tonight.
Well, yeah, it's a big deal. It's the first Husker event since I looked, the last baseball game on June 1st, so that would be 2 months and 2 weeks to the day. So, I mean, pretty long hiatus, but crazy to think that already the 2025-26 athletic season's already about to start.
When you were a hooligan, 3 years ago, out there as a student in the stands, did you think you'd be doing live reports on Sports Nightly for us?
No, I did not. The hooligan gear was top of the line, and I'm not sure how many hooligans will be here today since students aren't technically back yet, but did see superfan Kevin. Kevin is already here, so
that's great.
Can you tell me what the full arrangement, the kit, as they say in soccer for a hooligan? Are you wearing a scarf even in a hot day? Like, what does it take to be a hooligan?
Well, first off, you get the hooligan shirt. Last year, I think it was white. Previous year was red, and it says like Husker Hooligans on it. So you wear that, and then sometimes you get a scarf. Usually that's a giveaway if you come to the certain game. So I'd wear a scarf. I think if they provided me one today, I'd put it on, but I didn't think about bringing mine. But yeah, I mean, it's all that kind of stuff.
You're media today. You can't be wearing
Yes.
any hooligan scarves. You're a impartial media member today, so we're expecting everything just down the middle by you as a media member.
I'd be fine if you were a little impartial wearing a scarf. I'm just saying, Camden.
You know what? You can wear a scarf. Jessica has spoken.
I am in a Husker polo, so I guess we can cover up the N, but
there you go.
Then I'd be impartial.
Well, hey, things get started, 7:05. So, we had Reagan Robbie on a couple weeks ago previewing the season, but I know you've been doing some studying, some research. This is a team that made it all the way to the Elite Eight a couple seasons ago, missed out last year. I know they're really fueled by that, but give us a little bit of a preview. What have you learned about this team going into the opener tonight?
Yeah, like Josh said in the ticker, they were 6-10-1 last season, but they lose a ton of their production from last season. You had lost Sarah Weber, who scored 11 of the 24 goals that Nebraska had on the season. You also lost multi-year starters like Haley Peterson, Abby Schwartz, and Florence Belzile. All had major impacts during that Elite Eight run a couple of years ago, and then they returned 10 letter winners from last season, but the main storyline is that they welcomed 15 newcomers. 15 of the 29 players are new, so that includes 13 freshmen and 2 transfers. So it's a pretty whole new team with obviously Robbie returns, and she has the most production, but the leading returning goal-getters from last season, Reese Snowden had 4, Sadie Waite had 2, and Lauren Anglem had 1. So you just returned 7 goals from last season. So a pretty new group of Huskers that are out there tonight.
I heard this in Josh's ticker, but did you know that Southern Indiana is the Screaming Eagles? Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah. I mean,
Josh broke
pretty
news.
Good mascot.
Josh broke news to me. I didn't even know that they were the Screaming Eagles.
Is the screaming, is that adjective necessary? Yes, so.
It is. It is. Thank you very much. In Southern Indiana, it is. So they are Southern Indiana. Looking up them now, this is their first season as a full Division I program this year. Mm-hmm. So they get to start their new tenure as an athletic program, as a soccer program, as a D1 opponent at Nebraska. So that's a kind of cool little side note here to this matchup tonight.
Yeah, it's a pretty pristine place to come play your first D1 game, too. It's only the 11th season of Hibner Stadium. I'd looked at that. So Huskers have 11 home games this season for the 11th year. But, I mean, I think when they walked on probably about 10 minutes ago, and they were kind of all just taking it in as they did a lap around the field and just all the amenities that this newer stadium has to offer.
I was going to ask you about that, too. Just Kyle and I talked about this last night about the attendance for the 4 main sports for women's college athletics, the volleyball, soccer, softball, and women's basketball. that crowd out at Hibner has added to that every single year, and there's it can get pretty crowded out there. Some good crowds. All the players have talked about how much that fuels them, and it's like having an extra player out there on the field. But for those that might be listening, might be thinking about coming out there, tell us what Hibner's like and why it's a place to come watch a soccer game.
Yeah, it's a really nice venue. You have all the bleachers here on the near sideline that I'm on, just beneath the press box. But if you came today, you'd be in the shade for the game, so that cools you down probably 10, 15 degrees. But there's nice views off to the right of Innovation Campus and Devaney just a little farther down to my right, and it's a pretty nice facility. Obviously, it's a little bit windy today, so that could impact the game a little bit. The wind's blowing pretty hard from right to left, but overall, it's just going to cool down as the game starts at 7 and then as it progresses throughout the night. So should be a decent night to try and get a good attendance here for the first game and try and get that record from South Carolina.
Looking at the preseason poll here for the Big Ten, 12th for Nebraska. Do they feel like, I don't know if they've necessarily talked about this with anyone, do they feel slighted at all when, I know there's a lot of newcomers and there's a lot of transition in a roster, but do they feel slighted, 12th out of the 18 teams in the Big Ten?
I don't know if they do or not, because last year I know they were projected like top 4 in the league, just coming off that Elite 8 run, and then obviously they had that 6-10-1 record last season. So I think most of the pundits are probably a little bit down, knowing that Nebraska didn't have quite the season they expected last year, and then obviously with those 15 newcomers this year, you don't really know what to expect, especially when 13 of them are freshmen. So I don't know, that's probably about where they'd want to be. They'd want to be higher, obviously, but I don't think they look at that very closely. They'd rather prove people wrong.
I think they like being the underdog. I think they embrace that because that was the year before when they went to the Elite 8, maybe people not giving them fully credit, and then last year there were a lot of eyeballs on them. I think they kind of like being the hunter instead of the hunted. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what they prefer.
Yeah. Okay, are you going to get a hot dog? And for the guys in the chat who want to know what everybody has on their hot dogs, what's your hot dog look like?
If I got a hot dog, I'm just a ketchup guy. Just straight up ketchup, and that's it.
I despise ketchup.
Oh.
I had a little bit by accident as a kid, and it's traumatized me ever since. I do not do ketchup, yellow mustard, or relish. Nope.
Just a plain hot dog?
Plain Jane.
Wow.
Plain Jane.
Okay.
What did you not like about ketchup?
It's just, I eat tomato sauce. I enjoy tomato sauce, but it's the vinegar kind of taste to ketchup.
Wow.
Just the sight of it. When people love ketchup and they just slop it on things.
Oh, that's me.
I have to look away.
I should have, when we brought the food up here, I should have slopped ketchup on it.
I saw a thing of ketchup downstairs and I had to just look away. I can't do it.
Learn something new
The
every
more
day.
you know.
All right, Camden, good stuff. We'll check in with you here in a little bit, right before start of this one, and then we'll have some periodic check-ins. Hopefully it doesn't take long and you can give us like a goal update pretty soon.
Can you
That's
give
what
me
we're
like
hoping
a
for.
Goal?
Can you give me a goal, like bellow it, from the diaphragm?
If there's a goal, I will bellow it for you.
Okay.
I will interrupt whatever is playing, and I'll just start yelling.
You know what I thought you were going to do also is a British accent. You didn't do that either. So right now you're 0 for 1, and you're in the doghouse, pal.
I said I didn't want to one-up you.
That's right.
Because the accents seem like they're your thing, so I was like,
My thing is many
outshow you.
things, including no ketchup. So thank you, Camden. You are the man.
All right, we'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon, Camden. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. When we come back, Kyle, going to be joined by the one and only Damon Benning. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
You're not at your house. You're at a lavish seaside estate. You're not walking the dog. You're hunting for clues in an Agatha Christie mystery. See it differently with BritBox. Stream an endlessly entertaining collection of British TV, including new original series, Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
Bit awkward, really. I think I might just have solved a murder.
And Outrageous, a scandalous true story.
Seems there's a political extremist in every family these days.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies. including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. And it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Dory Milberger or Darren Frazier in Omaha or agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont.
Your next vehicle is waiting for you at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Right now, you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab 4x4. Explore our current offers in-store or online today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must own and trade in a 2011 or newer passenger car or truck. Tax, title, license, extra, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Stock number V250770. Offer expires September 2nd, 2025. See dealer for details.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Kyle Crooks now joined by a very special guest, a colleague, but even more importantly, a friend. And that's Damon Benning, who joins us now as we get set. We're 14 days away from kicking off this season in Kansas City in Arrowhead Stadium. It seems like this month, this fall camp, it's all taken forever to get us to kick off, but we are getting closer, my friend. How you feeling?
I'm good. I have hit that anxious stage, right? Between some preseason NFL games, you're within that 2-week window, high school's going. It feels like football. I just need there to be a little bit more football.
Yeah, and we're getting there. So fall camp, and what you've seen, what you've heard, is confidence maybe for you even higher than, say, it was in June, in the spring? Is anything changed for Damon Benning at all in what he's seen and what he's heard about this Husker team coming out of fall camp?
No, I feel pretty good. I started with tempered expectations a little bit. I was anywhere from the 8-9 win mark. I love the roster. I think it's as good as he's had since he's been here, he being Coach Rule. But it's also not a complete roster, right? They're still continuing to develop, and they need some guys to step up in some key spots to have the kind of season they want. But if you ask me about where I am, my gauge is still pegged right about where I started.
Okay. And you now look at Dylan Raiola, year 2. A lot has been talked about. He's going to take a jump. That's what is expected. We haven't, I guess, on Sports Nightly and maybe other shows, at least for us, haven't talked a whole lot about Dylan because there's just an expectation from us and maybe the media that he's going to take a massive leap from being a true freshman starter. Do you see that as a given? And what maybe do you think has changed for Dylan in the mental side of it, being a leader, all those things that you would need from QB1?
Yeah, I think I do agree with you that I think we're making that assumption, right? But we know he's pretty talented. We know he's tough. We know the football acumen is at a high level. We also know that Coach Holgorsen is extremely successful and has been, regardless of who's taking snaps with him, from Whedon to, Geno Smith to Case Keenum. Like he's been able to work with multiple different quarterbacks and have this thing work. So while I think the assumption is there, if you're Dylan and you're Coach Holgorsen, what you're thinking is you don't take anything for granted. So you paid the price in the offseason and spent a lot of time working with one another, understanding verbiage, what each of you does well, because I think it's a two-way street, and kind of how you can most efficiently communicate. So I do expect to see year 2 growth, especially with a guy that had over 500 snaps, right? Dylan had seen a ton. He's done a ton. But he can't do it by himself, and I think that's the MO in which this team's operating under. You want to be good up front. You want to stockpile wide receiving talent. You want to continue to develop the running back room. You want to continue to see your tight ends get better. It's the ultimate team game, Casey. But make no mistake, it starts and ends with Dylan taking snaps.
Chatting with Damon Benning. We'll be calling that game against Cincinnati and Arrowhead in 14 days. Well, if you've heard DB talk in the offseason for quite some time now, he's been very high on the tight end room. Now, if you were to compare and contrast where you see the running back room right now to, I know if tight ends are at a 10 for you in excitement, where does that running back room sit for Damon Benning?
Well, their upside is pretty close. That is a talented room, and I like the variations in style, right? I mean, Emmett's pretty complete. Nelson is the home run. Mosey is electric in the open field. Booth has shown both speed and power. I'm still waiting on a little bit of a healthier Ives. I really like Kenneth back there in terms of a power back. I like the different styles. So I think even Genatone, who can be a hammer, who I was a huge fan of coming out of high school. I just didn't know they made guys that big, strong, and fast at that level when Genatone was coming out. So I like the versatility in the room, and I think it's an extremely talented room. We've heard about the exploits of Mosey as he continues to learn the position. Everybody's raved this last month about Mekhi Nelson and how electric he is with the ball and his arms. And we've seen those glimpses of Emmett where it's like, wow, we know he's capable. Now, they all have to be able to put it together when it counts. But if you just talk about the talent and kind of where the ceiling could be, I think it's higher than it was when we first started talking about running backs in the offseason. And my level of excitement's pretty high.
For somebody who's been around this program a long time, and the single digits, that's a pretty big thing around here. And all but one single digit it still remains, and that's one. All the rest have been taken here. But for you, Janiron Bonner, I think we probably expected Barney to get a shot at one of those single-digit numbers. Dane Key was one of the first. But Janiron Bonner, what makes him a single-digit guy?
He's a fave of mine, Kyle, and I mean that. Jess will tell you he's a guy that I think he just flies under the radar in terms of his work ethic. He doesn't blink either. Like, that's probably my favorite quality. Was that whatever's asked? He's one of those guys that would tell you he'd rather be caught with than without. So he's always prepared. I watched 2 years ago, he took snaps at, he ran a fullback dive. And then I see him play, that H-back move position and a year later. Now he's back out at wideout. He knows as much as anybody on that offense, but it's his work ethic. He's a professional. He comes to work every day. He doesn't cheat the 24 hours. He understands how to maximize within it. I think if anybody typifies what I think that the single digit is supposed to mean and supposed to represent, it's JB. He comes to work every single day.
And now a new DC, John Butler. He's familiar with these parts. Of course, coached the DBs last year. He's had a lot of time in the National Football League. But, Damon, you look at a guy who's been waiting a long time to get this opportunity again to be in charge of one side of the ball. He gets a chance to be a defensive coordinator, and you know it well, being around the team. And what I've spent around this team, there's no more energetic, charismatic personality than John Butler on a football field. How do you think, I guess maintain is the word we'll use for right now, because this was essentially a top 20 defense in a lot of different metrics. So if you stay in that spot, you're in a good place if you're on the defensive side of the ball for Nebraska. But how does John Butler now fit into this puzzle and what he can make Nebraska defense moving forward?
Yeah, I like the way you frame the question. That's fantastic, because I think sometimes the revisionist history would allow us to believe that, I didn't really like a lot of the dialogue on the way post Tony White's departure about the kind of defense that Nebraska played. For consecutive years in a row, he's a top 20 defense. He held opponents to scoring in that 18 and a half point range, right? That's nothing to sneeze at. All the while, we weren't getting those star-studded draft picks and just churning out, top-end talent for all conference caliber players. So I want to make sure that we understand what a good job that Tony White did. The advantage in year 3 for Coach Butler was being around last year, and he understands where Nebraska needed the work, right? You got to get off the field on 3rd and long. You gave up a few too many explosive plays on the back end. Now, why did that happen? Did we get a little too predictable? Did we fall asleep at the wheel? So Coach Butler has 3 things that I really, really think give him a chance to be a competent defensive coordinator. Number 1, he's extremely bright. He's a really good football mind. He's a good philosopher. He's seen multiple things. He's experienced multiple things. So I think he's a guy that has a lot of answers for a multitude of questions. Number 2, he's extremely competitive. He's going to figure it out, and he's going to find a way. Every day for him, he brings the juice because he wants to be the best. So when you're super bright and you're really competitive, really the only thing that can limit you is if you lack self-awareness. With him, I don't see it at all. He's extremely secure in who he is. He's got really good self-awareness. He understands that he's got some pretty smart coaches around him that he's not afraid to get some input from and turn over teaching to. When you get guys like Addison Williams and Phil Simpson and Coach Snow and Braden, these guys, Coach Dvorak, who is one of the most gifted teachers that I've seen in a long time with young people. When you trust and you're self-aware enough to know that you've surrounded yourself with some pretty good intellect and you free them up to do their thing, everybody can function at a high level. So between those 3 attributes and a talented roster, he's given himself every opportunity to have some success in this league. And if they can, again, another way, I like the way you worded it, if they can continue where they've been, you allow teams to score in the teens, 18 and a half points. It's going to put you in the top 20. You figure out a way to get off the field on 3rd down and limit big plays. There's no reason why Nebraska can't be optimistic about how they can play defense.
Well, you look at the numbers, points against, 19 and a half a game. Offensively, let me ask you a realistic number. If this team takes the next jump, this next step, so 23 and a half points per game last year, only 11th in the Big Ten. If you were to talk to me as a realist and you see the talent that has come in, the pieces of the offensive line, Dylan should be more protected this year. Points per game stat, where do you think that number can leap to this year with Dana now full year as the OC?
And it's connected to the special teams, right? You're a little more efficient in the red zone from an offensive standpoint. A few more 3s that were 0s a year ago and a few more 6s that were the 3s a year ago, without even having to, put on your rose-colored glasses or drink the sugar-free Roul-Aid, you could see this team getting 3 or 4 more points on the field that they clearly left on the field a year ago. So that puts me around the 27-point mark. Now, then you factor in your offense. Unto itself, you're a little bit better up front than you were a year ago. You're year 2 in a system with a quarterback that you think's pretty talented. Year 1.5 with an OC that has had a tremendous amount of success for 30 years in college football at this level. And you have surrounded himself with some weapons. So if I say that is worth 3 points, I don't see why this can't be a top 35 offense. Top 30, 35 offense. That puts you anywhere from 29 to 33-ish points a game. I don't have to stretch and squint and reach a ton to come to that number based on what I feel like this team is capable of. But it's a combination of special teams, where I get the ball, how I convert in the red zone, plus the efficiency of the offense getting better. I don't see why we can't tack on another 6-7 points this year in terms of what they score without being accused of being too much of a part of the Homer network.
Yeah, and it's realistic, and it's still a massive, massive jump from last year. If
huge.
Those two, and that's why a lot of people are bullish on Nebraska this year when it comes to the possibilities of this season. You mentioned special teams. We heard from Eck earlier this week, Mike Eckler, and he is, you want to talk about bullish, he's all in on this special. He feels like they're going to take a massive jump. For you, field goal kicking, punting, we've made a huge deal of the addition of Archie Wilson, Ja'Cory Barney guaranteeing that he wants to lead the country in return yardage. Do you see that factoring into those points per game? Just overall special teams, do you feel like that's going to be in a really good spot this year, or we wearing those rose-colored glasses on that?
Absolutely. I think, you get somewhere near your punt return goals of, 9 to 10 yards per return. You flip the field once or twice. That helps you with your starting field position. Starting at the 26 versus starting at the 35, statistically, it's only 9 yards, but it's worth about 4 more points per drive on average for teams that can do that. It advantageous to start outside the 30-yard line. The other thing is punting the football. When teams don't have always the opportunity to start at the 20 or, when you can pin opponents deep. We've seen a couple of opponents that have been thorns in Nebraska's side that can average once, your starting field position is less than 20 yards. You don't score points as an offense starting at that starting point. And for him and Coach Eckler, simply putting the ball through the uprights, where if I'm inside the 35-yard line, I have got to come away with points. Nebraska was one of the top teams in the country for drives crossing the 40-yard line, yet not yielding any points. Really poor finishing drive rate for this team a year ago for as much as they got into plus territory of their opponents. So when you put all that together with his accomplishments, as long as he understands what the SEC plays in comparison to the Big Ten in terms of special teams, I trust his evaluation because he's been there and done that. I don't think he's going to allow himself to pan for fool's gold. If he thinks they're going to be pretty good, then I think they're pretty good. He's better at what he does than I am, and he did it in another premier conference. So if that's his vantage point, and I just do play simple, basic math, I see why people are excited, Casey.
Well, DB, I'm excited because we're getting set. We're, again, 14 days away, you and me. This is one of many football conversations that we're going to get set to have here over the months coming up. I learned yesterday or 2 days ago that you're a Dodgers fan. I know you're a huge baseball fan, and I should have connected the dots because I know you watched the Dodgers in Kansas City earlier in the summer, but I didn't connect those dots. So how did that even happen, L.A.?
So here's the thing. I was pretty decent as a kiddo, and I was looking for people on television that looked like me, that swung like me. And so I gravitated towards a fella by the name of Pedro Guerrero. He's a really good right-handed hitter, and at that time, this is 79-80. I'm 5-6 years old. I I wasn't going to be a Pirates guy because I hated the uniforms. I didn't like the pinstripes. When it was Fernando Mania was just getting ready to take off, Pedro Guerrero was my favorite player up until, I'd say probably 11, 12 years old. And he was overtaken by another Dodger, which was Fernando Valenzuela. So for me, it was pretty easy. 2 cities, 4 sports teams. Penguins and Steelers, Dodgers and Lakers. That's who your guy likes. Pretty simple.
Damon Benning, not just a football guy. He is a guy of many things, and I'll get to learn more about him, and we're going to have food recommendations on the road. Get ready, yeah. Kansas City. Look up those barbecue joints, and look forward to chatting with you. Game 1, let's kick this thing off.
You got it. I'm excited. Pumped to hang out with you, spend more time with you, KC. Always appreciate you.
All right, let's do it. More Sports Nightly coming up after this.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
You're gonna feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See shelter agent Sharon Lear in Papillion, Paul Hoos in Grand Island, or an Ord C agent Matt Woodward.
Turn up the heat during the Honda Summer Event at Woodhouse Honda. Drive off in style with limited time offers happening now. Lease the 2026 Honda Civic 2-wheel drive Sport for $299 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Shop in-store off Highway 281 in Grand Island or online at woodhousehonda.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $24.99 due at signing, plus first payment and $2.99 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH260025. Offer expires 8/31/2025. See dealer for details.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. think I was gonna do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Rudy in Florida says you need to have KC barbecue, but no ketchup. So you like barbecue sauce?
Yes, which I didn't know until a long time after that ketchup is actually a big part of barbecue sauce. It didn't scare me away all the way. It's just I can't see the red of ketchup and do it.
Okay.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
You can't see them making the barbecue sauce.
Yes. There's a lot of things I'll eat that if I don't see made, I'm okay with it.
Apparently, there's lots of recommendations flowing in for barbecue in Kansas City, so we'll have to maybe...
We need to sort through all that because that's big.
I feel like we should maybe come up with a list and then let people vote on where we go to eat, if Damon will allow for that to happen. If maybe he picked a list of 3 and then let our viewers/listeners vote on what we eat on the road.
Put it in the hands of the people is what you're saying.
I think so.
A democracy.
Yeah. Well, we have a football game on right now. High school football, big-time matchup, number 12, Buford, taking on number 11, Milton, both teams out of the state of Georgia. And if you're wondering why we're talking about that, one Dayton Raiola plays for Buford, Georgia. Currently, Milton is leading 7-3, but Buford is driving right now. I've been going back and forth a little bit, and there was you could tell that they spent some time talking about Dylan. They had a graphic up with Dylan and a picture of Dylan and Dayton, and just now they went to a live shot up in the stands, and the parents are there. Dominic and Yvonne are there, nicest people ever, so pretty cool.
Buford just scored.
Oh, so I'm behind you.
So my internet connection is better. So
Apparently.
Buford, so they're in a $62 million stadium for Buford High School. This was a big story a couple weeks ago, so it's getting debuted for the first time. This is a better stadium than most FCS and some FBS programs have. Of course, Dylan had played some time at Buford High School, and then Dayton, who's a Nebraska commit, is there as well. Dylan put something nice on Instagram, which they showed on the broadcast as well, cheering on his brother for his first game of the season. So it is packed there, too. It looks like a really cool environment.
It's on ESPN2 right now. Unfortunately, our big TV is still not working.
We got
to get that going. But Dayton's a lefty, and he actually threw, it was last year towards the end of the season, maybe in playoffs. It went viral, threw a dime. It looks so different coming off a lefty's hand.
It feels different. It's like a lefty catcher in baseball. It looks different. It feels different. But as long as it works and you're able to complete some passes, which Dayton is a very good prospect, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. No, I think I like the look of it, is what I'm saying. It hits differently, I guess. Same thing with like a lefty shooter.
That right tackle becomes a lot more important with a lefty quarterback. You are now essentially the blindside protection. So flip everything that you think about a left tackle, you flip that over to the right side with a lefty quarterback.
All right, we're going to get to a break, but when we come back, it's time for another live check-in with our on-location reporter extraordinaire, Camden Cohn. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Woodhouse Hyundai makes it simple to shop for your next vehicle. Receive 0% APR for 60 months on the 2025 Hyundai Palisade. And when you shop Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Owner's Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit us online at woodhousehyundai.com or woodhouseplacehyundai.com today. With approved credit, tax title, license extra. Must finance with Hyundai Motor Finance, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 9/1/25. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Step into a new era of luxury at Infinity of Omaha. Browse our inventory and enjoy special financing and limited time offers happening now. Receive 0% APR for 60 months or $6,000 in summer bonus cash on all 2025 Infinity QX60 inventory. Visit our showroom or shop online today at infinityofomaha.com with approved credit. Tax, title, license extra. When financed with Infinity Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. VIN number SC359090. Offer expires 9/2/2025. See dealer for details.
Like Husker Athletics, your retirement deserves a game plan with a solid foundation. Stonebridge Wealth Systems, local advisors, a disciplined process, a retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Welcome back. Final few minutes here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody with Kyle Crooks, and it is time to check in once again with our live on-location analyst/reporter, Camden Cohn, who is checking in from Hibner Stadium, where Husker soccer is just a few minutes away from kicking off not just their season, but the entire athletic season. Camden, how's it looking out there?
Yeah, it's really starting to fill in. There's a lot of people directly down below me, a lot of kids up against the railing because players are going to come out and they'll obviously do starting lineups. And usually they have a soccer ball that they toss to the crowd or hand off to some kids. So Huskers are about to take to the pitch. There's about 2 minutes left on the clock, and then they'll obviously go through anthem and lineups and whatnot. But looking at a 7:05 kickoff from Hibner.
See, I like what you did there. You threw in pitch. He's a true soccer reporter. See, I have my own reporter at Hibner Stadium that you guys don't even know about, and I was told that Camden was actually out on the field in warm-ups, and he was doing his own warm-ups.
Oh.
He's wearing the shin guards as well. As part of what he's allowed to do, he has extra access because he's a hooligan, as we've talked about before. But he was actually running up and down the field. Security was chasing him around the pitch. I'm sorry. Security was chasing him around, and he was able to jump over the fence, get away from security, and get back in the booth. Is that true, Camden?
That's true. It's
exact
very true.
play-by-play. Camden, Kyle's trying to get himself prepped, getting some practice rounds of Joke of the Weekend here.
Any advice, Camden, for delivery or style of joke? Anything that you have for me?
Well, they like B jokes. If you have a B joke, that's always popular.
Okay.
Otherwise, you really got to sell the delivery, because if the joke itself isn't very funny, the delivery can make up for it. Otherwise, if your delivery is bad and the joke's bad, then it's not going to work. So heavy on the delivery, and then you really got to sell it with the punchline.
So we'll check back in with you here in just a few minutes. Hopefully we get a goal, so you can call us a goal here coming up in the next few minutes or so. But I just had another brilliant idea. They have Pup at the Pitch every year, like a Bark in the Park. They have where you can take your dogs out to soccer. I think we'll send Camden out again with Sonny when that happens.
Okay. You trust him with Sonny now?
Yes, yeah.
That's pretty big.
I'll loan you Sonny to go out there and do live reports from Pup at the Pitch.
Now, have you talked to Sonny about this? You can't just make Sonny do something here. We'll talk to Sonny, and we'll get back to you, Camden.
Sonny likes everybody, and she will be fine. She'll be excited to get to be a part. So.
Well, I know you're big on B jokes, but I'm big on C jokes. So see you later, Camden.
There you go.
Oh my. Oh gosh. I don't even know where to go from there. All right. He's already getting some practice rounds in before Joke of the Week coming up at the end of hour number 2. We're also going to hear from Kelly Natter as a part of The Dig. We recorded our first episode here this afternoon, so we'll bring you a portion of that. Keep it here. Hour number 2, Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked.
My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
This summer, step into elevated luxury at Woodhouse Lincoln. Right now, during the Lincoln Summer Invitation Sales Event, you'll receive 0% APR for up to 48 months on all 2025 Lincoln Nautilus inventory, plus an available 90-day deferred first payment and a 2-year 25,000 miles premium maintenance plan included. Browse our inventory in-store or online today. Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. With approved credit, must finance with Lincoln Automotive Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires August 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Jeff Brandt in Hastings, Kelly Schilke in Imperial, or Rick Missioner in Beatrice.
Good evening, I'm Josh Hilkeman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Husker soccer is set for their regular season debut tonight as they host the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles coming up in just a couple minutes at Hibner Stadium. Nebraska finished the 2024 season with a 6-10-1 record. They have a revamped roster with 15 newcomers, including 13 freshmen. Our own Camden Cohn is on site at Hibner Stadium, and he'll continue to provide updates throughout hour 2 of the show. Husker sophomore quarterback Dylan Raiola added a preseason honor to his offseason tally today as he was named to the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year watch list. Raiola is one of 81 players named to the watch list today. The winner will be announced on December 16th. And a few MLB scores. Earlier today, the Blue Jays edged the Cubs 2-1. Vlad Guerrero Jr. made the difference with a 2-run homer in the 7th. Also, the Orioles defeated the Mariners 5-3. A couple games in progress. The Mets are up 1-0 on the Braves in the top of the 4th. Tigers and Twins scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The Siegen behind the screen, dances around, hezzy move, pump fake, out it comes to Jacobson, puts it up and in! Holy smokes! Way to go, Kale! Kale Jacobson from Ashland, Nebraska. Into the starting lineup 3 games ago, hits a huge, humongous, gigundous 3.
Runs and deals. Ball swings and lets the fly ball to left. Colvin going back to the wall, and it's good! Home run, Jordy Bull! A towering drive to left field by Jordy Bull, and that ties the school record for home runs in a season by a Husker. Allie Viola, you've got company. It's the best player in college softball with her 3rd home run of the weekend, Jordy Bull.
Bump set left. Almodovar's in the front row. She tips it. Doug. Huskers own it. Set left. Harper again. Over dig and out. Floyd Harper Murray in the big red. She's carrying them. That's 18 kills for Harper. It's 25-24 Nebraska.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. I just walked down the hall and Husker Vision's got all the cameras pulled up at soccer. So I know they're about to get underway. They were announcing starting lineups and check in with Camden again here in just a few minutes. Hopefully a quick goal. Oh, already.
You heard something.
Do you hear him? Camden, what do we got?
Well, we scored a minute 20 into it.
Already? Do we know who scored?
Not official yet. I will get that in a second.
All
right, so now's the
Came a
perfect
Carpenter.
time.
Came a Carpenter.
Okay. Perfect timing now.
Come on, Camden.
I want something. I want something with some juice. Josh, you might have to pot him down a little bit because he might crackle a little bit here if he goes too loud.
All right, ready?
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Goal!
Nice.
I think that's probably the best goal call I've ever heard.
Thank you.
I'm glad you had him up, Josh, because I actually heard him say it. So
you scared the daylights out of me, Jess.
I'm sorry. I guess you couldn't hear him because I heard him say it right away. I was like, oh, we already scored. So
wow. So not even 90 seconds into the season, Nebraska has a 1-0 lead, as they say in the sport that we love.
You called quite a bit of soccer to previous.
A lot of soccer. So my first ever broadcast on my prior stop was at the football stadium at Florida Atlantic. We were 7 stories up. They were like ants. I didn't have my binoculars. My analyst was caught in traffic, and I was learning a brand new sport, and I was scared out of my mind. But we figured it out 8 years later. I've done 8 years of it.
So hopefully we got more of those coming, but didn't take long for us to get that first goal of the season. So off to a good start.
Those Screaming Eagles, they're going to have to scream a little louder to get back into it.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully it's all Huskers all night. So we'll check in with Camden here in just a few minutes. Again, I was teeing up that we would check in with him. Luckily enough, we got a quick goal. So Deb from Grand Island texted in, and she actually originally said, GI, you're continuing to learn all the Nebraska names and towns, and you now know what GI stands for.
Grand Island.
Grand Island, Nebraska. So shout out GI, all the listeners in GI, and Deb just says she loves us guys.
I love it. And we get to hear more and more from the listeners. We were down, like we said, at a partner event earlier today, and I had a few people come up to me saying that they had heard me on Sports Nightly a bunch of times during the week and all of our great affiliates throughout this state. So if you're out there listening, there's a lot of ways you can consume this show, not just on the radio and on our great affiliates. Please do that. But also we have the YouTube stream, the Nebraska app, a lot of ways that you can get this show. And you can get it on demand as well with the podcast and all the interviews that we do.
Absolutely. So I was going to originally joke of the week was a Friday night deal. Then we moved it to Thursdays when we started doing best of. So I was going to move it to Friday this week, but then I realized Thursday, we probably just wanted to keep it here because it's what we've been used to, but also expecting a pretty big news day tomorrow. We've been privy to maybe a few things that will be released tomorrow, but one of those being the NCAA is expected to rule on the Michigan sign stealing allegations. Of course, Michigan has already come out. They tried to get ahead of it and suspend Sharon Moore for a couple of games, one of those including when they come here to Lincoln against Nebraska. But expecting the punishment to be delivered tomorrow, do you have any inclination, any kind of guesses as to what it might be?
Well, I would say that the self-imposed ban or self-imposed deal that Michigan had, the 2 games for Sharon Moore, I believe that there's going to be a lot more. I think that's handed down by the NCAA now. Jim Harbaugh, of course, going to the NFL, he won't have to face any of these NCAA bans. I would assume that he's probably going to get something pretty heavy sent his way, whether it's a ban for a year or 2 from coaching in college football. That could be sent down. Connor Stallions, who was, if you watch the documentary on Netflix, there was a big deal into this whole situation. I would assume that Connor Stallions will be banned from any sort of NCAA coaching or being a part of any NCAA staff for life, I would assume. I know a big reason why Sharon Moore was a part of this, there was, I believe, 52 or so text messages between him and Connor Stallions that he had erased when investigators went to look through to when they had done their deep dive into everything. So it's pretty obvious that there was some wrongdoing here with Michigan, and I would assume that there's going to be a pretty heavy sanction here on Michigan, but nothing too bad that you're not going to see any postseason bans or anything like that. It's really significant stuff.
I'm interested to see how much, and if it will even happen, if they punish teams by hitting the rev share cap. If that's even allowed, if that can be, like, what punishment now will even affect a program? If you can still if you're still able to hit the rev share and have lots of NIL opportunities, I feel like a lot of places are still going to be able to buy a lot of athletes.
Yeah, I mean, outside of you've seen the death penalty in certain SMU back in the day. At Penn State, obviously, what they went through, they got something pretty significant. I think that's one way to do it, to make sure that coaches and administrators are policing everything that's happening. If you're taking a hit into that, 20.5 now in that rev share number, then all of a sudden you're taking away what you can pay your athletes, and then the athletes are getting upset at the coaches for doing what they did and getting upset at administrators. The one way to really hurt people is hurt their wallet. That's one thing that you learn over time. And if you're just like MLB or the NBA, you take a fine and it goes against the salary cap or something along those lines. If you're hurting somebody in where it really hurts in their wallet, then you'll maybe start to crack down on some of these things.
I guess what maybe makes me think that can't happen, though, is if you have contracts with these athletes, it would have to be so far in advance because you can't take money away, or else, hey, another lawsuit.
Yeah.
Just join the lawsuit party. But if you're taking money away from the athletes that were promised certain things, it's not like you could just do the ban or hit the
couldn't do it for that year.
You couldn't do it the next year.
You'd have to do it for future years. Say you're now only working with this number in 2027 as opposed to what the number could be. And that number is going to go up every year, that rev share number. So you're right. You couldn't you couldn't take money away from student athletes at that time, but are you then hurting what footing you might have in recruiting in 2027 or 2028 by what that number looks like?
I do think that would be, as you talked about, just hitting the wallet. And in this day and age, if you want to get a handle on things, start threatening that money aspect of it and what you're able to do with that rev share cap for sure. So practice last night. It was a beautiful night. Had some donors out there. Again, won't give too much away, but I thought the first team defense looked pretty solid yesterday.
Last night was definitely the defensive night. There was some turnovers and things. They were making some good plays. It's been a battle back and forth. That's what you want to see in camp, because you have these. You don't want to see one side of the ball dominate for an entire camp, because that means you have some real bad issues on the other side. So you want to see it back and forth. That's best case scenario. And I think last night was definitely the defense's night. We've seen nights where the offense has been great. And I'll tell you this, it gets pretty heated when these guys are going at it and somebody makes a big play and the defense is celebrating a big play. The offense doesn't like to see that. Like these guys really get after it. It gets pretty contested. And that's why I think eventually the excitement to play somebody else and go through a game day, you truly then become brothers when you're now on the same team officially and you're playing another team. I think this group's really excited for that opportunity. I think the final scrimmage is coming up here in the next few days, and that'll, again, lock down what we think that 2-deep. I would assume the coaches are going to lock into a 2-deep and a 3-deep here after this second scrimmage. But yeah, last night, definitely, it was a good sign for the defense and John Butler. They were providing the energy for sure.
I think Searles has said it before that you'd be concerned if there wasn't some dust-ups in practice.
Has to be. And there hasn't been, I
Maybe
thought there'd be more.
Just even the chirping back and forth, just that fieriness, the competitiveness.
I thought there'd be more pushing and shoving. I've been at every single practice. I thought there'd be more of it.
Well, they shut it down. I mean, Coach Police said he doesn't want that, and I think people have been out to practice enough to know that, it's again, there's a standard and there's a culture, and if it gets too far, they shut it down.
Yeah, but it's also healthy in a sense too. Like a little pushing and shoving is okay. You don't want it to become a habit, right? Because then that becomes 15 yards and that manifests itself in games. So you want to punish that, but the thought of these guys getting in each other's faces, I think these coaches expect that. That's part of the deal when you're going at it, and they really go at it because you're creating a game atmosphere. You want that to be harder than what it is between the lines on a Saturday or a Thursday night. So trying to recreate that, you're going to get some dust-ups.
So just one single-digit number left. When I was counting them, I totally forgot 0, which I don't know how I could forget 0. Big Nash wearing 0. My cousin and brother went to the Minnesota game a couple years ago, and they were obsessed with the fact that the big D lineman out there in number 0. So I don't know how I forgot that number. So there was one more than what I initially had said, but we still do have one more left to give out, that number 1, because Vincent Schaefer's went to 9. So V9 has his number 9. Are they waiting to do something pretty special with number 1? What do you think's the deal is there with number 1?
Yeah, I would presume that it's something special. There's a lot of theories out there as to what it could be. I just don't want it to become a big deal for one player in particular, where it's going to become a distraction on whether he has one or he doesn't, and that's QB1. Like if Dylan wants to brand himself as number 15, it doesn't make him selfish or this or that. And if they want, like, to me, I don't want it to become this big deal where if it's somebody else aside from Dylan, now this is a big deal, or we're looking deeper into it. Well, Dylan wasn't voted this. Dylan's not, like, I can tell you this. Dylan is a leader of this team, and he will be a leader of this team no matter if he's number 1 or he's not. Like, yeah. So I just don't want it to become something that it's not.
Yeah. And I think it won't. I mean, especially as long as internally it's not. I was telling you this last night as we were breaking it down. It's been the fact that there's more offensive guys with those numbers. It's been those single digits have been pretty dominated by the defense over the first couple of years with Coach Rule. So the fact that you now have Ja'Cory, you have Janiran, you have Dane Key, because there's been offensive linemen have gotten the honorary one, but not wearing it. But there hadn't been. It's really been heavily dominated by the defense. So
Yeah, and what's interesting, too, is Riley Van Poppel as a sophomore getting a single-digit number.
Redshirt, his third season,
Right,
or third
right.
year in the program.
But technically, you're looking at him somebody who has 2 more years after this as of eligibility. So if you want to look at it that way, yes. But Van Poppel, so him getting that nod, I think we talked earlier, Javen Wright, that's obviously a big deal and so well-deserved in his 7th year of the program. But it shows that there's a lot expected of this wide receiving core this year. Dane Key, that was his number he had at Kentucky, and he wanted to create his own legacy in that number, so he gets that number back. Like we said, Ja'Cory Barney, that just feels right. Maybe Emmett Johnson is that guy who gets that final single digit. We will see, but I would presume that it's going to be tomorrow or Saturday or one of these next few days coming up. I would assume we'll get the answer on that.
Crypto King wants to know, what number would we want? What is Kyle's favorite number? I wore number 22.
So it's weird. I'm odd on numbers. I have to have a certain number on my radio, this, that, and the other. But I am a number 5. I love the number 5 playing basketball growing up because I was a Nets fan. Jason Kidd was number 5. 5 or 6 is probably where I would land.
What about, okay, so that's a single digit. So I guess for me, again, I had 22. 22's been my number, so I probably would roll with 2, like Ja'Cory.
You'd be number 2.
If I had a single digit, yeah.
Okay. But you would, if we
And
were...
I believe you told me the other day that 2's not a very good number. You don't like the number 2.
It's not, there's better. 5, 6.
In your opinion.
There's better.
I like 2. I like 2 2s. 22.
22. I'm just not a big 2 guy.
Feeling 22.
Oh, so that brings us to our conversation. We both listened to the entire 2-hour New Heights podcast as Jess flings her pen across the room.
It broke.
Taylor Swift with the Kelsey brothers last night was interesting. And even I was watching it, and I'm not somebody who follows Taylor Swift on a daily basis. I don't necessarily listen to her music a whole lot. I like the hits. But I listened to the full 2 hours just because it's like this vacuum that you just get sucked in. You gotta watch it. You gotta listen to, because it was everywhere on Twitter.
They do such a good job, the Kelseys. I mean, for as goofy as they are, and obviously they were pretty lovey-dovey, Travis and Taylor. But I think Travis does a really good job interviewing and asking questions and follow-ups, and just I think they do a good job with their guests.
Yeah, Jason, you can tell, is a little bit more polished when it comes to that. Like
serious.
He knew where to go with the conversation, asking about her tour and her setup of her tour. So he's in the media now. He's at ESPN anyway. I would presume that Travis eventually, there's been rumblings of how much does Travis have left in his NFL career, and does maybe he become part of the media. But Jason's in the media now, and it showed last night. It had about 1 million views. We were on the air last night.
Yeah, there was 1.3 people watching it when we were on the air. So obviously, that took away from our 1 million viewers on Sports Nightly.
Yeah, I was looking at our YouTube numbers. We were close, but we weren't quite there.
1.2 million to 122. We were joking that, like we do press conference cuts, that we were going to take some cuts from the podcast. I know to people, some of our listeners would be really excited about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that love Taylor, but there's a lot of people on the other side of the spectrum that seem to get aggravated because she's quote-unquote invaded football or whatever that means. But she's been, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but she's been very good for the sport in terms of getting a new demographic. There's a lot more people watching football now that understand the down to down of football that didn't know anything about it before, including Taylor herself. It's brought a whole new demographic, and in the end, that's not a bad thing, is it?
It was funny when she asked about, well, how was it when you played against your brother? She didn't even know that if they both play offense, they weren't on the field together. But, she made a good point, though. They might come for me to see me, but people are staying, and it's proven they have ways to track that of who's tuning in and buying tickets and all of that. And so, again, we've had that discussion here. Greg was a big Chiefs guy. We talked about it the last couple of years, and I think it's pretty cool that there's some. And Jason even brought this up too, that he gets approached by a lot of dads that said, "Hey, my daughter now wants to watch football because of it." So
that matters.
Yeah,
it's a whole new demographic, a whole new generation that she's bringing in, and for the NFL, they love it. If you look at their social media, they're all about it, and they should. Women in sports, we talk about that a lot, and Taylor has influenced a whole new generation of fans that are females to watch football. Pretty cool.
Sam in Omaha points out that Derek Jeter was number 2, and Kyle is a Yankees fan.
Number 2, Derek Jeter. So he was born in the same small town in New Jersey I was, Pequannock.
Really?
Yes, it's our claim to fame. I had a plaque in my room growing up that has Derek Jeter diving into the stands that says born in Pequannock, New Jersey. Yes.
Y'all are both on the water tower?
Yes, absolutely.
Home of Derek Jeter and Kyle Crooks?
One day, maybe. And Jason Biggs, too, who was the star of American Pie.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie?
I have.
He was a Pequannock native as well. I didn't know that until I Wikipedia'd it, but maybe one day I'll be on the Wikipedia. But yes, he is a famous. Now, he didn't live there. He was just born there. There's a big hospital that's in Pequannock, New Jersey. But yes, that's bad by me. So I do apologize to Derek Jeter, all-time great Yankee, my favorite Yankee of all time. But I'm going to stick with I'm a 5 or 6. It's my personal preference.
Sam also chimed in that Cam Jurgens apparently. He did. Jason was telling a story about Cam Jurgens walking into the facility. So Jason was a big fan, was big reason why the Eagles drafted Cam Jurgens.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you see the Nebraska influence in everything. And maybe we talked about concerts here at Memorial Stadium. I know maybe it's pie in the sky here, but I'll reach out to Taylor's people, and we can make it happen.
I think you should absolutely try to do that. Apparently, that's how they started dating. I guess some of Travis's people reached out to her people and made it happen. So.
Well, I think the story was that he didn't actually do anything besides just yell into a podcast. And
he showed up to her concert, and then they didn't let him backstage, but then he posted on his podcast. But
yeah,
so then his people reached out to her people to tell him.
Eventually.
All right, well, let's get to a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Kelly Natter as a part of the first episode of The Dig. We recorded that earlier today. Lots of great stuff with Kelly, as always, so we're going to bring you a portion of that next. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
So cold.
Does your furnace have you in distress? Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. Their technicians don't earn commission. This equals fair treatment to our customers. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. To celebrate our 75th anniversary, get a new AC or furnace for $75 a month. Call SOS at 402-391-2336.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that. which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See shelter agent Joe Methy in Kearney, Jackie Rowan in Lexington, or Megan Fales in Cozad today.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Shop Woodhouse Mazda during the Mazda More to Move You sales event. Receive 1.9% APR for 60 months on the full lineup of 2025 Mazda CX-50s and Mazda CX-50 hybrids, plus no payments for 90 days. Visit us in Bellevue or off 144th and Giles Road today. With approved credit, tax title license extra. When financed through Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 9/2/25. See dealer for details.
We have breaking news during the commercial break. Let's go right out to our on-location reporter, Camden Cohn. Tell us what's happening out there, Camden.
Yeah, so Huskers just got their second goal. Ella Rudney knocked it into the bottom right corner past the goalkeeper. And so Huskers up 2-0, 2-0, 21-14 left in the first half. They're in a hydration break right now, so a couple minutes off here.
So two different goal scorers, though.
Yes.
Which is what Reagan had mentioned to me, that she felt like this might be a team in the last 2 years. It's been heavily dominated, the goal scoring, by one player, and felt like it might be spread out a little bit more, and we're seeing that so far. How about the shots on goal? It sounds like they're getting a lot of opportunities.
Yep, so 7 shots. Only 2 have been technically on goal, but there's several that have been close, just to the left of either of the side posts. So a lot of opportunities, but able to get that second one home. I mean, Nebraska's controlled possession probably 95% of the time. It's barely even been on Southern Indiana's side of the field, so it's been pretty offensive for Nebraska so far.
So I don't always see you until we come to you live, but I can hear your feed, and it sounds like it's pretty lit out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I've been surprised. It's a good first crowd for sure.
How are the hooligans?
Let me look. I see Kevin. Kevin's dancing with the red afro.
So Kevin he's representing the entire hooligans tonight?
Yes, I think so.
Well, you'll see you can't miss Kevin no matter what. If you watch him on TV or you're at a game,
He's got to meet Kevin.
Yeah.
I will meet Kevin.
He's at the training table. He's a favorite around here, so you'll meet him soon enough.
All right, well, Camden, you did it once. You need to do it twice. When they score,
I need to do it again?
Oh, is that even a question?
All right, I suppose.
3, 2, 1.
Goal!
If you're in the chat, if you can please screenshot Camden's face during that as well, I would like that
Also,
for future use.
Get ready to rate that second goal compared to the first.
I think the first one was much better.
I think
this one,
he
it
mailed
was during the break, so it was quiet, and so it was a little more awkward.
All right, well,
let's 5 minutes after.
How about the Huskers score another one so we can hear a third goal from Camden here?
You can't leave it on that. That was disappointing, to say the least.
Camden, this is Kyle doing this too, live, not me.
His joke's going to suffer because of it.
I love it. I love it. Shots fired. This is like the trash talking between the offense and defense I saw last night.
This is our version of fall camp. Just us going at it.
All right, Camden, good stuff. We'll check in with you again here shortly. All right, so had a chance to sit down with Kelly, now Natter, of the Husker Volleyball staff as a part of the Dig, brand new season of the Dig. Episode dropped today, but wanted to bring you a portion of that conversation here. Kelly is in charge of the alumni group that's going to be playing in the alumni match on Saturday. She's going to be setting for the group as well. So had a chance to dive into a lot of different things with Kelly on the Dig. This is a portion of that conversation. Big Saturday coming up here this weekend, and not just for the team that's going to be taking on the alumni, but you've also assembled basically the alumni team. You're going to be setting for the alumni team. How excited are you? How ready are you for Saturday?
Very for both of those, I would say. I know I'm nervous a little bit just to be out in front of playing in front of that many people again when I haven't been consistently playing. But I think we have a good group of people who have been playing and who are competitive and are excited about it to have fun and make it competitive, obviously, but more so just a celebration of our alumni. And I think everyone's really fired up to be back. And it'll be interesting because we're not really practicing together all that much. Everyone's all spread out around the country. Some people aren't even really playing anymore, like myself. So we're just going to have a 30-minute practice on the day of the game and then go eat pre-match meal with the Huskers, and then it'll be game time before we know it. So I think that first set might be a little bit interesting, but I think as everyone honestly gets warmed up and understands each other and how we're going to play together, it'll be a really fun match.
Who was your first call, and then how did those conversations go? Hey, you want to play? You want to suit back up?
We first started thinking about people who were still playing, and we're like, okay, all these people are still playing. Are they going to be in their preseason? How's this going to go? So we had a giant list and then just kind of narrowed it down to people who were still somewhat playing and those types of things. And we just sent out initial texts way back in, I want to say February or March, and said, hey, if we have an alumni match, would you be interested? A lot of people, if maybe they didn't know the date quite yet, had other engagements and stuff like that, just because it was really just a spitball idea at first. And then as it got more and more serious, it's like, okay, what's the date? What do I need to do to be ready? Do I have a hotel? And like all the logistical things. And so it moved slowly but quickly at the same time. But it was just a lot of people were excited to come back. And a lot of people were like, do I have to play? Can I just come back and be here? So that was cool that people and alums wanted to come back just to be a part of something. And I think in the future it might be more of a big alumni weekend type deal. But for this first year, it was kind of just, hey, you're still playing, want to come play the Huskers and throw a team together.
So I was going to ask you where the idea came from because, again, not a lot of places have the luxury of having some really talented, high-caliber players that they can call up and participate and actually give, a decent challenge to the current team.
I think we were just spitballing in the office in the spring when we were in our beach season, just thinking about what are we going to do in the fall, anything different, what have we done in the past, and it really, I think it was Danny's idea initially, and then we just said, let's start reaching out and see if it could be possible. But I think it was just, how are we going to freshen up some things, and what type of new flair is Danny going to bring, and what have we not done before or in a long time to kind of spark some more new and old ideas.
Are you going to be nervous?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I
Were you nervous as a player? Did you get nervous as a player?
Not after my first half of my first season. I think I was super nervous then and then just kind of got more comfortable. And I think I'm not putting any pressure on myself to be absolutely amazing. So I think that's helping me be not super nervous. But I'm almost feeling like I can anticipate that same feeling of my first red-white, and I don't even remember the first 5 or 10 points, and it was just blackout playing volleyball. And I don't know, I just feel like that feeling might pop up a little bit, but probably only for just a couple points.
You guys are all competitors, want to win, used to winning. I mean, and how much are you going into this? Hey, we want to give a good challenge to this team, and I know it's the first really full-on run-through before you have your first match of the season with a lot of young players here. So what's the mindset of the team going into it, wanting to give a good challenge to this group?
Yeah, we haven't all really gotten together yet to talk about it. People are kind of slowly trickling into town, but I think a bunch of girls, like Lindsay Krause is texting me, when can I come in and get reps? And I went with Kenzie Maloney and served some balls at her, and then or asking about opportunities to do all that stuff. So I feel like everyone is wanting to be their best and be super competitive. But I think once we're all together, we're going to be, all right, are we winning this thing or what? So that'll be fun.
I talked to Allie Batenhor. She says you guys already have that connection because you would set her sometimes in practice. Lauren Cook-West was trying to make a guess on who might lead the alumni in kills. She said Lauren Stivrins. Is the slide ready to go?
Oh, her slide is always ready to go, the Stivrins slide. Funny enough, Lauren and I actually did play together. Well, me, Jordan, Lauren, and Kenzie all played together this summer in a sand volleyball event out in Hastings. So maybe we were just working on our team chemistry then. But yeah, I've played with Lauren, obviously. I've set Jordan a bunch just trying to get her ready for the Olympics the last couple years. And a lot of players I haven't. Oh, I guess I've set Lindsay and Allie too, just randomly in practice. So there's not really anyone I haven't set before except for maybe Gina Mancuso. So that'll be interesting. But I think the group of alumni is very creative in their attacking. It's not always just hit the ball as hard as you can. So I think it really can go to anyone. And depending on how good the Huskers defense is picking up junk, I think that'll be a big part of the game.
And you've got a great perspective of that. You might know some of the weaknesses you guys can attack.
Yeah, I'm trying not to have any bias. And we were talking about some things in the office, like should we have some little bets going on just about who's going to get the first kill and all of that. And I'm like, Danny said, you can't know because you could cheat. I'm like, I would never. So it's all super fun and super light, and just the kind of jokes and banter that's coming out of it has been really fun.
It's just such a neat event. I can't wait to see it all and see you back in action too. But how important is this night, though, for this current team to go through kind of a dress rehearsal, if you will, of what a game day is going to be like?
I think it's huge. Just going through a normal feeling of what a game might be like in Devaney is big because we have a lot of players who haven't played in Devaney until the red-white scrimmage just because our freshman class was so big, but most of them were here in the spring when we actually did have a spring match in Devaney, which is a very good experience for those guys. Normally, we don't have that all spring long or even all preseason long until the red-white. So for them to already have that initial nerve, kind of get that out of their system in the red-white, and now, okay, it's a real game, I think it'll feel very competitive, very much like our first match. And although that's not in Devaney, I think it'll be a really good preparing experience for all of them.
How's the preseason been for you, the first one without Coach Cook?
It's been different, but I did the press conference yesterday, and this is how I always answer this question. It's been very similar and very different. I think a lot of the core values, whether it's passing and defense and blocking and all the teammateship and leadership, a lot of that is very similar between John and Danny. I think the way they run practices are, again, similar but very different, whereas Danny likes to play and get into live a lot quicker and play live volleyball for a bigger chunk of the practice, but there's still that same training time that John really loved, where we're breaking things down and we're doing things for time and really working on our skills. So it's been equally as different as it has been the same, but it's been fun, and Danny was my coach when I played, and we've known each other a really long time, and her and Jalen have known each other a really long time, and Brennan has fit right in just great, and obviously Lindsay is still here, and so it's been very consistent, and I think Danny has had to go through probably the biggest change of anyone, obviously, and I think at first we were trying to feel each other out and do exactly what she wanted, and she was wanting our opinion at the same time. And I think we found that groove, and it's a really collaborative environment. And the preseason has been so fun because our girls are so competitive, and we keep track of who wins drills, and they're every drill, even if it's just a warm-up fun game. Is that a point on the board? So it's been very, very competitive, and it's really elevated the level of our play.
I know Danny's given you guys as staff a lot of credit for helping her with the transition, but being that, it is different, and you did have a different perspective of her being a coach and playing with her, playing underneath her. What perspective did you have of when she took it over that, okay, this is going to work and she's going to be able to lead this program and continue to grow this program?
The biggest thing about Dani, and I've always admired this about her, is she's very authentic and very herself, and she is a straight shooter. So if she's thinking something, she's going to say it. You don't have to guess with her, and she wants us to do the same thing in return. And I think it's a very healthy relationship, and just that transparency and honesty. She is the same way with our team. There's no questions of, what does she think about me or anything like that. It's just very, here's what you are good at, here's how we can improve, here's what your role might be. And I think that authenticness is it makes you really gravitate towards her, and you're not wondering, and it doesn't feel like the head coach is up here and everyone else is down below. It's all very collaborative, and I think she even said that quote once, that if you walked into our gym, you wouldn't know who the head coach is, because she wants everyone to have a really big role and a lot of say, and she wants the same for our players too. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that she wants our team to be truly player-led, and they're really stepping up into those roles. It's really fun to watch.
Kyle, I always love talking to Kelly. All the coaches that come on as a part of the dig are awesome. Kelly's got such a great perspective. What's interesting is this year she's taken over coaching the liberos. So we dove into that. That's one of the heated position battles, and talked about that. So you can listen to that full conversation out now on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel as well. It was a lengthy conversation, as it always is. I just find myself kind of going down a rabbit hole sometimes. But again, the dig is powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power the dig and all of Husker women's sports.
Great conversation as I continue to learn more and more about Nebraska volleyball. And are you going to be out? I know you'll be watching at minimum. Are you going to try to get out to?
I think I'll go out there on Saturday, so we'll try to maybe do a couple interviews. So, but hey, 2 weeks from tonight, football. A week from tomorrow night, volleyball.
Volleyball's a little closer, so that itch, it's going to get scratched a little sooner here for volleyball. And we'll have more answers as to some of these competitions, these preseason competitions that we tried to read so much into in this red-white scrimmage. You'll get a little bit more answers, because now it's just you don't have the opportunity to play both sides of the net. You just have one team on one side as you play the alum. So we'll see who starts and what those rotations are a little bit more here in this matchup coming up on Saturday.
And we will have Allie Batenhorst on the show tomorrow night. She's also part of the alumni squad that's going to be playing on Saturday. So we're going to have her joining us on Sports Nightly tomorrow night. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot of volleyball tomorrow night as well, the night before the alumni match. All right, we got to get to a break. Coming up, Kyle's joke of the week. Oof. So should be a good one. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Natter Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Natter Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Natter Services. These are the Natter Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Jan from Toyota here with live coverage of end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event with my special guest, Eli Manning.
Thanks, Jan. Let's get into it.
Down by the lake for some fishing, we've got Eric in his Tundra. He throws his line, and he's going long!
Heck of a team effort there. That Tundra got him exactly where he needed to be.
There's excitement in the stadium parking lot with the Davis family tailgating in their new Sequoia.
All eyes are on Dad manning the grill. He grabs some buns from the cargo area of the Sequoia and flips. And look at that! What a way to close this one out.
Sure was, Eli. Until next time, go Toyota!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, or Corwin Toyota of Bellevue.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Grit, precision, results. That's Husker football. And hopefully Kyle's joke of the week here in just a couple of segments. And our approach to retirement, Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Local advisors, relentless focus. The retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I was ready to retire this segment, but Kyle wanted in on the action. Who knows how long we'll keep it going now, but it is.
I might be retired after this.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Your turn. Joke of the week.
Hey, Jess.
Hey.
Hey, audience. Did you hear about the guy who got hit in the head with a can of soda?
No.
He's lucky it was a soft drink.
Doo-doo. Nice. Nice. All right. You said you had another one.
Oh, I have so many of them.
So since it's your first one, what was your second one?
Well, now I have to go through because I wrote. Okay. Why did the coffee file a police report?
Why?
It got mugged.
That one was good. I'm surprised you didn't go with that one.
I have so many.
With the coffee guy.
When you're a comedic genius, you just tend to work these things out on the fly.
Apparently, you thought this was your audition for the comedy club here tonight. So
we have a comedy club in Lincoln.
There's a good one, big one in Omaha.
Okay, so I have to drive a little bit, but we should
all
get
right,
one here in
let
Lincoln.
us know what you think. Shoot in those texts on the text line 402-413-2400 on the chat as well. And we'll get to those results coming up right after this.
Experience exceptional quality and lasting value at Woodhouse Toyota. Lease the 2025 Toyota Corolla Hybrid XLE forward-wheel drive for $250 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Visit us in-store off Highway 281 in Grand Island or online at WoodhouseToyota.com. Woodhouse Toyota. Let's go places. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Security deposit waived. $24.99 down payment plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GT250217. Offer expires 8/31/2025. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly. We just heard Kyle's joke of the week. The responses are rolling in. Art in Los Angeles says, first I need to give Camden a perfect 10 for shouting out B jokes. Kyle ranking the joke a 6 because that's Kyle's favorite number. LOL. 10's only for B's. GBR. And Rudy says, better than 2 or a 5 or 6, but good. I give you an 8.5 on first and 8.6 on the coffee. Thanks. And then on the chat, we've got Crypto always has a pretty complicated rating system, but he gives you the highest score ever that he's ever given, a 10.001. Dryce gives you an 8. Husker and Hanover, an 8.5. And then Children of the Corn, I told you this before I even saw this comment, that he is a pretty, he judges
Tough.
like you do.
Tough,
and so
but fair.
he gives you a 5. So it'd be like if you were giving the scoring. So
To say I won't go home and think about that for the rest of the night would be an understatement. So, Children of the Corn, appreciate you as a,
You're
as a
gonna
viewer
motivate him.
and a listener. This is motivation. I will be better. I'm going to go back to the drawing board just like a coach in a press conference. Just want to say we're going to get back to work. We're going to watch the tape. We're going to study the tape and get back to it and be better than we've ever been. But it's one day at a time.
nice. Carol gives you both of the rank jokes an 8. Tim in Minnesota, 8.65. Definitely a dad joke, but excellent clarity. All right, Camden, what'd you think? And what was your rating for the jokes?
Well, if we're going with my favorite number, which is a 3, then wow, I don't want to do that, but I'll give it a 7.5.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
People were listening.
I'll remember that.
Look, I told you, like, if it's over a 7, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. 7.5 is just not. It's harsh. I think Camden, he's still just got some feelings of the whole British. You know, we wanted him to do a British accent. He didn't do it. He's got he's got bad feelings about me. I get it.
Might have been an 8.5 if we hadn't had some earlier things happen in the show.
If we doubted that people listen, a lot of people remembered your favorite numbers from conversation earlier in the show. All right, Camden, we just got about a minute left of the show. Quick update. What's going on out there?
Yeah, still 2-0. We're at halftime, about 13 minutes left on the halftime break, so you can flip it over to Big Ten Plus if you want to watch the second half, and hopefully the Huskers can add on.
Hey, great stuff from out there. Appreciate
Tremendous.
you doing that.
Thank you.
We're going to have to do it again
We'll do it
sometime.
Yeah.
I want a full report on my desk of the show, typed up in essay format tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Times New Roman, double-spaced?
No double space, single space. We're going to get you to work.
Shoot.
How would you grade his performance out there at Hebner, Kyle?
He was a 7.4.
I'll take it.
Good stuff all around. Thanks to Josh back there making all this happen. Camden for checking in at Hebner. Thanks to Kyle, all you guys for listening and tuning in on the chat and across the airwaves. We'll be back for another full 2 hours coming up tomorrow night, talking lots of Husker volleyball. We'll have another football availability, so big show coming up for you tomorrow night. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or a